What we're about to watch and unpack in this video, is it what we should call four-wheel driving? I don't think so. I love four-wheel driving. I love technical four-wheel driving, and this hill is one that I have driven in my short wheelbase Bundera, and it can be driven technically. But what we're about to watch in this video, I don't think it's technical four-wheel driving. In fact, I'm not sure what we should call it. When I do these Reacts videos, I really want to help us learn and grow in our four-wheel driving, whatever that might be. It could be any number of different expressions. This is a more technical expression of four-wheel driving, and it may not be your cup of tea, but I think we can all learn from it. Now, in this video, I'm not sure that we're going to be seeing a good demonstration of driving skill. Now, I try very hard not to belittle people and pull people down, but sometimes the hat fits and you just have to wear it. Let me know in the comments down below what you see going on in this video, because I'm not going to be able to cover off all of the points that need to be covered off. Now, the interesting thing is, I've actually done a Reacts video to this channel before. This is Boofs Offroad Adventures, and he's a local fella in New South Wales, and I did a Reacts to a few of his drives. I'll link them down below, and they were really good technical drives. Now, he's not driving in this video. I think it's one of his mates, but I don't think this is the type of driving we should be seeing out there in our national parks, and this is a national park area. If you want to drive like this, it's private property. All right, let's play this. Now, old mate's in his GQ Patrol, and this is wild country. It's steep. Where are you going? I want you to notice his seatbelt. As best I can tell, and I've watched this video a few times, he's not wearing a seatbelt. First mistake. Always wear your seatbelt when you're off-road, because when things go wrong, it's really easy to get thrown out of the vehicle. And I'm sure we've all seen videos of people getting thrown out of the vehicle and then getting rolled up, the vehicle rolling over on them and hurt and so on. Having your seatbelt on, like, why not? As you can see, it's good country. I love this stuff. I just want to make an observation, and I'm not saying this is the case, but I do wonder if this was a vehicle that the boys have basically decided they don't want anymore. They plan to take the motor out. It's a donor car. It's going to be this, that, and the other. And basically, they've come out to the bush to destroy the vehicle for the day and just have a wild good time doing that. Go and do that in your private property. Don't come out here and do it in our national parks.
Andy, just remember, we need to take this run in for at least tomorrow. No, we don't, Andy. If you drive it, you better go to it. We're close to it, get it.
You'll hear me often talk about look for the traction. So in this situation, he's come up into the rock steps and he is in a sense looking for the traction. The only counsel I would suggest is that he brings his RPM down lower so that the wheel speed is slower. And the reason he needs to do that is he's starting to get axle tramp. You can see on the front end there, the tyres are bouncing a bit and grabbing and letting go of traction. When you've got that going on, you're not actually going to get as much drive out of the front end as you'd want. What causes that can be worn bushes in the suspension, poor shock absorber valving for that suspension, or other issues. But just something else, we'll notice later on he gets this axle tramp going on the rear axle full time. So see that front axle, it's tramping. So he needs to back the RPM down and then look for the traction like he's looking for now. So So now I feel like we need to be looking for a different direction. We're just working the same space without getting any result. So it's back up, reassess the obstacle and have another go. You can see in that shot we just watched that the seat belt doesn't look like it's been worn. Okay, so back up, having a look at the obstacle. What options can I work? What options can I use? I always think about it coming in and tasting and seeing, coming in, taste and learn. Learn about the obstacle. What's your vehicle doing on this day on this obstacle? How's it behaving? Where's the traction? Look for the traction. Continually wheel spinning is not going to necessarily resolve the issue you have. Sometimes on rock it is the solution because your tyres warm up and give you a bit more traction. In this situation we've got a lot of soft dirt, it's not going to really work for you. One of the drawbacks in these situations is with excessive wheel spin in soft dirt is the track destruction, and it just creates a point where there's erosion can really happen to that track. And erosion is a natural phenomenon. I mean, the scientists tell us that valleys and gorges are formed by erosion. So erosion is a natural consequence. But when we do this sort of erosion where we're just digging unnecessary holes and stuff, we're not helping the environment, but we're making it harder for the land managers to keep those trails open because it costs them a whole heap more money to maintain that track if they maintain it at all. So it's worth considering that. So we've swapped to the other side of the step, which is the side I drove. I'm starting to feel like this is an aggressive driving style now. We're not really thinking about what we're doing, we're just doing stuff rapidly. So we just watched that bit where he drove in, roared backwards, grabbed first, went again. There is no thought process in that unless you're an incredibly gifted driver, which I don't believe this is being demonstrated to us in this video. So, back up, stop, have a look, think, okay, if I put the wheels there, if I put the wheels here, how will this work? Where will I keep my vehicle getting traction so it can climb the obstacle? Okay, so we're backing up. Pretty much grabbing first and we're going again. See what I'm saying?
Keep going, keep going.
I don't know where he's going here because that's a mighty sketchy looking angle, hey?
No, you're coming up here. We're rolling, we're going back. Yeah, maybe not. Go back and head towards that trees there a little bit. So come back so you're off the rollies.
So you can hear there's lots of people offering opinions and so on. As the driver, designate your spotter. Now he's got a mate sitting in the passenger seat, that's fine. Make sure you've got seatbelt on. Have somebody on the outside of the vehicle spotting you, but they're all sitting up the hill on the cans. You'll see that later in the video. So they're just chilling out and there's some vague instruction and direction coming from multiple people from the hill. So from the driver's seat, you're not getting quality information to really help you understand the obstacle and unpack how to drive it.
Dave. Yeah, you got heaps to come back. Right. You got heaps to come back. Straight up.
Alright, so you can see his spotter's got a can. The mate on the top right there has got a can. They're drinking Canadian Club. There's a can being left in the bush just in the front of the scene there. It's not cool. See that axle tramp I talked about? Look at that. That back wheel is in the air half the time, so it's not providing drive for you, and then when it does come down it gets a whole lump of drive and bounces up again. And So it's not actually beneficial to you. You just need to slow down. Your vehicle's not performing correctly for you. So that's where you need to get better quality shock absorbers. Like in the race car here, I've got superior engineering shock absorbers and suspension. I don't get this problem because I've got that good quality gear and it's been tuned to suit the race car. So that's a key dimension to what we're seeing here. Well, just on the alcohol, I've said it numerous times. I love a beer, don't get me wrong, but drinking when you're doing this stuff is a recipe for disaster. And I don't get me wrong, I don't want to be an old bloke just sitting there pointing the finger. Like, I get it. I was a young bloke once too, and I get why it happens, but it's just a stupid thing to be doing, because when things go wrong, you're now not at your sharpest. You're not going to make the best decisions, and who knows, you could be responsible for one of your mates getting killed. Now, in this situation, nobody gets killed, and as best I can tell, nobody gets hurt, which is a miracle, and we're about to see this happen.
Back and back way. Come back, head towards us a little bit.
Get stuck on this tree root.
Yeah, go from there. Yeah, head towards me. On that tree root.
Yeah, he's on that.
No,
Don't turn.
He's arse head.
Yeah.
You're arse.
Okay, here we go.
Better go and see if them boys are alright.
Go down, see if them boys are all right.
Alright? He's good?
Everybody's running down there. I mean, here in Australia, we all wear thongs. Thongs are things you wear on your feet, not on your, okay? So all you Americans, okay? We're all running down there in thongs and, drinking and stuff like that. This is when other people get hurt. All of a sudden, you're exacerbating your incident. That was a major rollover. Like, nobody getting hurt in that, and I know that because I watched the video, is a miracle, like a serious miracle. And the fact they're not wearing seatbelts is double miracle. I certainly hope they cleaned up the mess from the wreckage. All right, let's keep rolling because we now get to watch a very unique recovery method. I don't know why we recovered the vehicle this way.
You're up? Like, you sure you're good?
Oh, there's a CV on the ground here.
Can't really park there.
He's good?
Hey, he's alright or what?
Open the back door.
He's just winded.
So the driver's winded by the sounds of it. All right, so we've jumped forward to now we're doing the recovery, so who knows, this probably isn't that long, much later. You can see that we've got one bow shackle and the hook on one recovery point. Firstly, for a load like this, I'd be wanting to use a bridle. I'd want to be having two connection points to the vehicle. We've got two recovery points on the vehicle, so I'd be using both those. I wouldn't be running my winch rope over the diff housing like that. I mean, it's not going to really damage it, but I'd be just trying to set it up a bit better. But I've got trees all around me. Why wouldn't I be looking at using some of those to my advantage rather than doing what we're about to see?
Someone steering it?
Obviously the cameraman is right in the danger zone, in the line of breakage for that winch rope.
Worked surprisingly well.
Oh, the bonnet's pretty straight.
Yeah, sure.
I reckon we kind of beat that bonnet out. Jesse can kick it from the inside.
That rim's going to need some air in it. Oh, that tyre's going to need some air in it.
On the other side.
No, you're right. No,
No.
keep going.
Keep going!
You want four doors?
You want your mid-strength better beer?
Yeah, brother. Windscreens. Oh, your lights are still on.
Lovely. Well, then we've disconnected the wires with the rock lights on.
Yeah, disconnected wire, that's good. Now the radiator.
Keep going!
So, interesting way to recover the vehicle. Look, it got it back on its wheels. The consideration here is what happens if the vehicle didn't land like it did and stopped and continued rolling down the hill, or landed it such that it wasn't in gear and rolled on down the hill. So when you do a recovery like this on a steep hill, you want to consider retaining the vehicle in some way, shape or form so that when it does fall back onto its wheels, it doesn't continue rolling down the hill. You may have seen videos where that's happened.
Oh my God.
Let's get back in it.
Oh, look at the grill.
The grill. Oh, the battery's bent too.
I don't know how the grill ended up in there, but that's pretty impressive.
It's still registered lost place.
Keep winching.
Yeah, drag it round.
Keep winching.
Yeah.
No.
Luckily we got a spare that hit you in the head.
Yeah, it's gonna go.
And a draw. And it's about to roll again.
Oh, it'll get down there eventually. Oh,
At least we'll get it down the bottom.
we'll lift.
That's going to make the truck harder to drive. You just put
Hey!
in the hole.
Hey! Hey!
Scratchy.
You go!
You're scratching my paint!
That was the good side.
You're scratching my paint!
I've got to give it to him. I love the Aussie humour, you know, scratching me paint and all that. You know, that's a very Aussie thing to carry on about. That's good value.
So you caught up on that side?
Yeah. Was.
Not anymore.
Don't scratch it.
Not gonna lie, if you
All right, so that vehicle is absolutely wrecked now, and that's why I make that comment. Maybe these guys were out here and they really didn't care about the vehicle, and you know, if it happened, it happened. So, yeah, I can sort of understand that. Time and a place, though. These vehicles are starting to get pretty rare here in Australia, but they're very, very competent four-wheel drives, the old GQs and GUs. Now they're, you know, getting 30 years old and starting to get harder and harder to get hold of, especially ones in good order.
Oh, you got it open. That's pretty impressive. I didn't think that was going to happen. All right. Thank you.
Okay, so now we're going to spin the vehicle around to tow it out of there. It's a interesting way to do it. I'd have this tow strap, the purple strap, a lot shorter, and I'd pull the GQ over behind this other vehicle. I'd also have that other vehicle out of the way. But anyway, they're doing them. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts. Obviously, there's a time and a place, and I say that regularly. When you go to a place like a national park, the national park is the land manager and they set rules. You and I probably don't like the rules, but it is what it is. If we want to continue having the access that we have, then we need to respect those rules. Same for a state forest or any other land manager, crown land or whatever. We do need to respect the rules of the land. When we come to this sort of the attitude that's demonstrated in this sort of video, I think we really need to take that to a private property and then go to town. You know, do your thing. You'll carry the consequences if you kill someone or kill yourself. And obviously we don't want that happening. That's why a lot of what I do is what I do. But you know, you have the freedom to make those choices as a person. So if you were there and you want to have a conversation with me about this and disagree with me or tell me more information, I'm more than open to that conversation. And yeah, there you go. I'm Mad Matt. Stay safe on the trails.